everybody, it's Derby Watch Wednesday. I'm Jay Privman along with Marty McGee. Welcome back as we recap what's gone on since we last saw you 1 week ago. And Marty, let's start, as we always do, with our current top 20. The names are the same, but the positions have changed on a few of them, most notably Mandaloun. Let's talk about him.
Mandaloun had been 30-1, Jay, on our original Derby Watch last week. You and I talked about whether or not we should bring any of another, I don't know, 5, 6, 8 other candidates in light of what happened last week. And we decided, obviously, to keep the same 20 that we had last week. But we start off with the same two favorites in the order of in which they were last week. Essential Quality at 5-1, Life is Good at 6-1. Greatest Honor, who has been confirmed for the Fountain of Youth a week from Saturday here at Gulfstream Park. Or nearby Gulfstream Park. I'm not at Gulfstream Park, but I'm close. At 8-1, Mandaloun up to 10-1. He is one of 3 Brad Cox trainees in the top 6 odds-wise here, with Caddo River, who's 12-1, along with one of the Bob Baffert horses. Concert Tour at 12-1. 5 of them at 15-1, 3 of them at 20-1, 6 of them, or another 5 at 30-1, and then we have the Lone Ranger, Senor Buscador at 50-1. I imagine if we had thought to bring in somebody instead of him after his 5th place finish in the Risen Star, he too would have been 50-1. So kind of splitting hairs after that.
Well, let's talk about the Risen Star because that's obviously what impacted the list. Mandaloun, the winner of the race. Proxy finished 2nd, Midnight Bourbon 3rd, and Senor Buscador was 5th. Those are the 4 horses on our list that ran in that race. Marty, I thought Mandaloun, obviously it was an improved performance from what we saw in the Lecomte. It seemed to me that the blinkers certainly helped. I like the way he finished off the race, and he's always been very highly regarded. He's been favored in every race he's run in, including the Risen Star. And to me, he really stepped up in a big way here. What did you think of his race?
Yeah, I thought he ran big. You know, I thought all 3 of the top 3, as they did in the Lecomte, all ran well. So it's kind of they've pretty much become entrenched there in New Orleans, Jay, in terms of being the top candidates for the Derby. Obviously, Brad Cox is really stacked right now with all his candidates for the Derby. So be interesting to see how Essential Quality, his first stringer, so to speak, runs a week from Saturday in the twice rescheduled Southwest at Oakland Park, which, as you mentioned in one of your stories in the Friday editions of the Forum, now comes just 2 weeks before the Rebel. I don't know if you'll get the same horses coming back or just a brand new group or how that's going to shake out. But as if we didn't have enough confusion from last year with the COVID situation, we still have some COVID going on, and the weather has just been pretty fierce in Hot Springs and elsewhere in the last few days.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to see any overlap at all between the Southwest and the Rebel. The Rebel will end up with horses like Caddo River. Concert Tour is going to ship in from California from that. And then we'll see coming out of the Southwest where those horses go. Turning back, though, Marty, to the Risen Star, just your quick thoughts on Proxy, Midnight Bourbon, and the horse that I'm willing to give a mulligan to, Senor Buscador, who I thought the way the race shape was with the horses who ran 1, 2, 3, 4 being 2, 3, 4, 5 early in the race. I thought for Senor Buscador to get up for 5th from being dead last early wasn't that bad a performance in the context of the way the race unfolded.
Yeah, I thought that both Proxy and Senor Buscador came out of the race with some upside. It seems like they both are going to want more distance, though we'll get that if they go back in the Louisiana Derby, although I think Senor Buscador is going to go back in the Santa Anita Derby. But Midnight Bourbon, I don't know, Jay. I don't know how much upside he might have. He did kind of seem to run his best, his A race in the Lecomte, and then when the other 2 had a chance to come and get him in the Risen Star, they did. So you know, I would think that Proxy, you know, with Mike Stidham and being the Godolphin understudy, as you called him, he might have some potential to move up as the races get longer.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Senor Buscador go to Oakland and run in the Rebel. I think he'd have some pace to run into there, and I just think that track profile would give him a better chance, but he obviously needs to run better than he did the other day, but I thought the race wasn't as bad as it might appear on paper. Let's move on to the other stake last week that offered Derby points. That was the El Camino Real Derby. Kind of a soft field, and Rombauer, who was on our top 20 list, won the race. And Marty, I didn't think he was going to win the race at any point until maybe the last two jumps. What did you think of his race?
Yeah, I mean, he was all out to get that Godolphin filly right on the wire, and as you were being kind of kind when you said it wasn't the toughest field. So I believe you wrote, is running back in the San Diego Derby, and we'll get a much better gauge on that, Jay. You know, he was running against Poly / turf horses at Golden Gate. So let's see what he can do on the dirt. He did run fairly well, as you mentioned before, in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year, and I'll be interested to see what Michael McCarthy has to say to you about him as his next race approaches.
Well, those were the two races from last week that impacted the Derby Watch Top 20. Because of the now twice postponement of the Southwest, it will not be run this weekend. It'll be run in 1 week's time on February 27th. But there is one race of Derby potential significance, but it's over in Japan. They've got that carved out series, the Japan Road to the Derby, and the penultimate race in that series, the Hyacinth, will be run on Sunday, Marty. I'm sure you'll be looking forward to that.
Don't ask me who I like, please.
Well, that's all we've got the time for this week as we recap the races that impacted the Derby Watch Top 20. Barring any unforeseen developments, there shouldn't be any movement on the top 20 for next week because there really aren't any races that should impact it, and hopefully that list will stay intact. But we will have plenty to preview next week because both the Southwest and the Fountain of Youth are now scheduled for February 27th. So we'll look forward to seeing you then, but obviously come back to DRF.com early and often for all the Derby updates as we head towards the May 1st Kentucky Derby. For Marty McGee, who is slumming it in South Florida with that nice ceiling fan in the background, I'm Jay Privman. Have a great week, everybody.